This is Beatwalla, serving up the stories behind the beats and taking you straight to the soul of exceptional artists, as we sit down every week to unravel what fuels their artistic expression and creation, here on Beatwalla, with me, Jo Yule. Today on Beatwalla, we're joined by a label boss and resident artist from one of the most consistent but quietly powerful forces in underground house right now. PIV started as a label in Amsterdam, but it's grown into something much bigger, a global community, a sound, and a platform that's shaping a whole new club generation. They're all set and back for their 5th year at Cova Sound to Ibiza once again this summer. And they're also in the midst of launching their own PIV Academy for DJs and producers, as well as expanding into new offices in Amsterdam. So we're here to discuss that at the Hub today as we sit down to explore how PIV became so much more than just a label, but a full-blown movement. So I'm joined by co-founder of PIV, Jordi, and British DJ Kellie Allen, who is one of their standout resident DJs in the label family. Jordi and Kellie, welcome to Beatwalla.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming here to join me today.
Thank you.
And congratulations on 10 whole years of PIV. I mean, that's a pretty massive achievement, a whole decade, entering your 11th year. How does it feel, I think, sort of, to be this far down the road? Obviously, you set this up with your brother Prunk, who's sadly on tour and can't join us today, but it's kind of like a family affair, isn't it? Especially with Kellie as well.
Yes, it's quite a journey, but it's like family-wise. We started like with friends, a lot of friends, just throwing some parties, make some music. But that became like a community, a family, very organically, no concept, no thinking, just like doing it. And then in hindsight, it was like, okay, we build a community and let's pursue it and continue this, like from Holland to Europe to worldwide. Yes, and we're thriving.
Yeah, I've been part of the journey with the guys for 6 years now. I think 2020 was the first time I played and released on the label, and it's been so nice to be growing as an artist with PIV. I feel like they're a label and a brand that really puts their arms around talent and wants to see them thrive too. So it's been really nice to be a part of that journey with them and also grow as an artist myself.
It does feel like a family affair because I actually met you, Jordi, at Kellie's engagement party with her future husband,
Yes.
Sam Dean, who has to have a little special shout out on this episode as well.
Definitely, yes, yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, weren't we? Yeah, they get compared all the time. They get mixed up with one another. Sam's Jordi's brother from another mother.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, sound guy helps us because Sam we did moving premises to a new office in Amsterdam in the Amsterdam Tower. Very proud. 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago already, I think. We did a big party, big opening party with a lot of people. And the Amsterdam Tower is like the epicenter of Amsterdam, of dance, like Sony, massive music are there as well. So yeah, we actually fit quite well in.
It does, yeah.
Thanks for Sam.
Yeah.
He is a legend. We know this.
Yes.
But I think I've actually walked past that building at ADE last year 100 times. My hotel was like very close to the river there, and it's just one of those really iconic spots that you just kind of walk past and you're like, what is that building? And now I know it's the PIV offices.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that as well.
Thank
it's been
you.
a big year for you,
Yes.
really.
Yeah.
All things considered.
All things considered, yes. We do like the second time, like a full week, every week residency in Cova Center. Yeah. We're gonna do now 19 editions, and we also start with the PIV Algarve in Portugal, for the people, like younger people, who just like fit in. And so we program a little bit more like commercial. We have like Luke Dean, we have the Eastern Dubs, like a entrance for the PIV sound. And yeah, we're gonna evolve that, in our underground sound, but in a couple of years later, yes. Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt, that PIV is obviously created or becoming, such a massive kind of global dominating force in many ways. But I think let's talk about Amsterdam specifically to begin with, because I know that Amsterdam was the beginning of my club journey. The first club I ever stepped foot in was the Roxy back in sort of the early 90s.
Yes, nice.
When I was at university, and I went there and I'd never, ever, ever been out, shall we call it, before. And it no longer exists, right? It completely burnt to the ground. So where was your first club experience in Amsterdam? How did this all start for you?
Yeah, I'm from the scene that was like also a raver, a gabber. You have like in the 90s you have like gabber, hardcore music and mellow. I like both, but you know, gabber was the one. That was my first entry of house music. If you like search the internet, you can see some movies of me on Thunderdome. But
we will hunt them down. Don't you worry. Links in the episode show notes.
Yeah, well then and also. They did also a bit like all style. You had like DJ Rob, the Beat and Flow. And it was a bit more like all style vibe. And I was like 16, 17. So I was like, okay, that's more my style, you know. And then I just like crate digging my own music. So I get encountered like Carrie Chandler. So hey, this is nice music. So yeah, I was like actually autodidacting myself and educated myself into house music. And then I met some other guys from England. I told you about the story, you know, and they gave me music from Ninja Tunes, like Massive Attack, and yeah, and that evolves a bit the music taste I have now. And I also gave it to my brother when he was like 11, 12, and he was like coincidentally very talented. Yeah, and the story, you know, then we built PIV together. And I'm very proud of it.
I think you should tell us about this British connection, which is clearly why you guys have become friends, because you told me the story before we started the episode when you were drinking a cup of British builder's tea, we're going to call it, because that's what the working men drink on, you know, not this island, but the other one, not so far from here. Tell us how you met this man from Wolverhampton.
Yeah, that's a funny story. We were looking for a new flatmate. And yeah, like several interviews was not working it, you know, because they're not really cool guys. And there was like a guy 18 years old. He came with a rucksack with a lot of weed, and he was sitting there and says, "Okay, man, I like you. Yeah, just let's become roommates." And then yeah, we just became friends. We went clubbing in Utrecht, drink a cup of tea in the morning. Yes, it was nice. And then he introduced me in the music scene in England. And a funny story though is like the second time I was in England, we went to Birmingham, a club called the Custard Factory, Madison Bar. It was like an empty pool party. I saw it for the first time in the nights, so good. And now we booked them for the Ibiza show as well. So it's full circle, very nice.
And so how did this little relationship begin between you guys? Was it in Ibiza or was it in England?
Well, it was actually around the time that we were in the pandemic. So I was sending my music to PIV, hoping that one day I would get an EP or a single released on the label. And Prunk was actually sending me music to play on my radio show for Ibiza Global Radio. And at the same time, Jordi had reached out to me and said, you know, we're looking to do something maybe in Ibiza, but also London. Would you be, you know, up for being on the lineup? And I was like, are you kidding? And I remember thinking at first, like, is this a fake account? I didn't know. And obviously that then amounted to my first booking at Fabric, opening room 1 for PIV, December 2020, I think it was. And oh my goodness.
So it wasn't a prank, it was prank.
It was, yeah.
Prank.
Yeah.
But yeah, we like through that, I then, before the Fabric gig, I came over to the UK because there was nothing happening in Ibiza during that summer. And the UK had started to open up and do events again. And there was a festival, PIV had the stage at We Are Festival, which was a funny story because PIV actually stands for VIP backwards, if you didn't know that already. And We Are Festival put them on the VIP stage. So you couldn't actually get to the stage unless you had a VIP band. So the guys were like, hang on a minute. But yeah, I was with them that day. I met the whole crew. I met Jordi's wife Celeste and everybody involved with the brand. And it was just straight out the gate. It just felt like a relationship that had, you know, been there for years. I really felt like I'd come home pretty quickly with the guys and kind of went from there. Really had my first release that October, played Fabric, played ADE.
Yes.
And it's just been really natural relationship. Like we support one another, like on a personal level, not just professional. Like we just feel like we're extended family now. So very lucky.
I know that obviously ADE has been such an intrinsic part of building the PIV brand, and I know that, you know, obviously in 2024 that you had these sold out kind of like workshops that you were running there, and I know that this has probably, I guess, been the starting point of this PIV Academy idea that you're launching, and Kellie's going to be an intrinsic part of that. Can you tell us a little bit about the plans for that this year, because it's obviously grown like everything seems to in the PIV world quite quickly?
Yes, yeah, because we started indeed with PIV Academy just like on the floor. So we have Dennis Quin, like a proper tutor, give some master classes during AD. And then we had some contact with other parties like WMC and OVIC. We're gonna do in OVIC, we're gonna do a demo drop and a masterclass as well. So
what's a demo drop, just so that people really understand
Yeah.
fully?
So I did the first demo drop in 2024, and we invited people to the tower in Amsterdam to come and play us their demos and us give them feedback in real time, which was, you know, a really nice way to be able to give back to upcoming talent. And a really lovely story that was my first experience was this incredible artist called Midas Feels came and was on my table for the demo drop, and I listened to his music and it blew my socks off. And I said to him, this is amazing, can I have a USB to be able to play these tunes tonight in Shelter, which is in the basement of the Adam Tower? And I played his track that night, and he was in the crowd, and it was a real like moment for him, and I was so happy to be able to do that. And then exactly 1 year on from the demo drop, PIV released an ADE sampler, and that was, he had a track of his on it, so that would have been his first release on the label 1 year after the demo drop. So it's really nice full circle moment for the artist, and I feel like for PIV as a brand, it's really important that we nurture this talent from the moment that we're listening to the music to then eventually seeing them releasing on the label and then playing for the brand, which is also happening for Midas this year. So you know, just nurturing talent from the very beginning, not just kind of providing education and leaving it there, but you know, being able to bring them up with the brand.
And I'm so happy that you're doing that. I think, you know, it's something that's really lacking, and specifically on this island, we were talking about this just a couple of weeks ago at the Standard with a panel, and we were talking about, you know, why a grassroots talent, you know, DJs and musicians not nurtured perhaps in the way they were certainly when I was a music journalist in London. And I wonder, you know, how do you think that compares perhaps in Amsterdam to Ibiza, particularly in both of your experiences?
Well, I think it's everywhere the same, even in America, because there's a lot of access to the industry. It's very easy, but there's not really development, you know. So people can easily release somewhere, and then it stops, you know. Or maybe then a manager comes, or but there's no really like a guidance and teaching. And for us, it's interesting. But PIV Academy, it will going to be a platform, is next to the PIV records and PIV events. So it's not about, not only about making better tracks and guidance, but also actually creating the tracks in the ecosystem, and actually tracks are actually used in our ecosystem. That's very interesting. So we can also offer like maybe like Midas Fields, like new people who actually can make a difference. I think so. I'm very happy to start this.
I think it's, you know, it's access to this kind of tuition and guidance online is more available now than it was when I started out, and I was having to learn in the classroom in person, whereas you've got access to loads of online platforms. But like Jordi said, with PIV, what makes the difference with the academy is that you have the guidance and the opportunity to grow within the brand, within the current ecosystem that PIV has, and that doesn't just extend to producing music, but could also be an insight into the business side of the industry, you know, guidance on how to look for representation when the time is right, how to navigate contracts, you know, these sorts of things as well. So I think it's really nice to be able to keep it all under the same roof.
I remember listening to an interview with your brother Prunk, as he's known under his artist name, and I think he was saying, you know, he really wanted, when you guys started those smaller parties in Amsterdam, when you first began with the little parties in the shops, he really wanted women to feel very included and very welcome. So I think this is beautiful that Kellie's like leading the charge there with the nurturing of the talent. But specifically, is that something perhaps you might be kind of like inviting more of, like women to kind of get involved first and foremost in the academy, or what's your kind of general feeling about the kinds of artists that you want to invite?
Yes, definitely. For us, always about the music, you know. But it's good to have like a role model, such as Kelly, and I think that really helps, you know, like giving an extra push to the girls. Say, okay, your music is good. Give them, you know, better advice to mold the sound, and I think it's yeah, glad having Kelly in the academy as well.
Yeah, I think it's important for me on a personal level as well to encourage more females in the industry to, you know, if they're interested in learning how to produce music and DJing, you know, there simply isn't enough of us in the industry, so it's hard to balance out that inequality. But it has improved since I came on board with PIV, for example. You know, I've seen an influx of new female talent, so that's really encouraging. And really, it's just about supporting that as it continues. And you know, I feel like I was one of very few women to release on the label back in 2020. So I would really like, on a personal level, to see that increase. And if I can provide something from my own experience to help make that happen, then, you know, I'm here for it.
Yeah, we have a release from a girl from Brussels, Bakaji, very talented and out of the blue. And yeah, I'm so happy and proud that we can release this music.
Yeah.
I think it's 20% of the lineups in Ibiza are women and 80% is men. So I'm really interested in, you know, how maybe you feel that we can redress this balance and why you feel maybe the scene is a little bit like that still at this point in the game.
It's about quality, you know. We're not looking for most of the times if the music is good, but yeah, because it's like a different, it's a niche, PIV. You have to understand the sound, you know. So sometimes it's too housey or too commercial or maybe too underground, and it's not really PIV. And yeah, it's hard to explain.
It's it's a very complex subject, as we know, and there's lots of layers to it. I do agree with Jordi that above all, music is the priority. It has to be, you know, right for PIV.
Yes.
The way that we address the inequality, like I said, is just encouraging more people to come through and get involved within the music industry. You know, there is the topic of tokenism in the industry as well, and PIV works really hard to make sure that it's not just a token female on the warm-up slot playing for one of their parties. You know, I'd like to, you know, say that my own experience of that is that I've been able to progress with the brand, and I'm very fortunate to play on a lot of the PIV parties on a prime time slot. But I've worked with them for 6 years. I've come from, you know, very early on in my career and grown with the label, and I think that's what they want to encourage as well. They don't just want to release with an artist. They want to have an existing relationship that develops over time, and they're very supportive of me for that. And I think we support one another.
Yes, yeah. We're not only looking for talent and music, but also for energy. Now, just last year we met a girl, Claudie from Miami, and she had it. It was a new Kelly, like the vibe, the energy, you know. She understands the music, and then we're gonna support her, you know.
Yeah,
that's for us very interesting, but it's very hard to have like the X factor for the girl to say, okay, we can pitch you.
So how would you describe the PIV sound? I know it is hard, and I don't want to pigeonhole you, and I don't want to label you, because it's not a good thing. But ultimately, if people are going to be like, I want to join this academy, like, what is it that you're actually looking for in an ideal world?
Well, it's very hard because sound is evolving, you know. So what was good 2 years ago, it's still good, but we'll not release it anymore. So we get a lot of demos. It's actually technically quite good, but it's not the next level. So it's very hard to explain, but you just feel it, you know.
I think what you guys have done well is that you've got PIV as in the original label, and then they started PIV Club last year, which is a lot more dance floor focused. You find more peak time tracks within that sub label, and then you've got PIV Limited, which is vinyl most of the time, vinyl release as well, more minimal rolling sound. So they are sort of broadening the labels in terms of you know, where you would place yourself.
With the groove. It's
yeah, I think so. I feel like on a personal level, PIV, the original label, the music that's released on there stands the test of time. It's timeless music that you can play now, even if it was released 10 years ago. So, yeah, it's not following trends. It's sticking to, you know, the good quality house music sound.
What about Prunk's new album? I mean, what's that sounding like? Because I haven't had the pleasure as yet.
It's very good. I got sent it the other day by Barna, the A&R for the label.
It's musical. It's I think it's coming out in July, August max. You know,
without revealing too much, it takes you on a journey, which an album should. So, and I think this is his second one. So if it's anything like the first, you guys are in for a treat.
So you guys are going to be doing some events around Off Sonar as well at the beginning of June, and you're going to be running these academies there, which you've obviously road tested now in Miami and Amsterdam, and you know they're going to be online as well. So what is it that you kind of perhaps feel that you want to bring to Barcelona? What are you looking for there?
Yeah, well, Barcelona is one of the pillars, like ADE and Music Week. I hope IMS will be in the future as well. Yeah, for it's very important to be visible there, so we do always events during that week, but also want to bring some more. So we're gonna do next to the Crew Barcelona and the SLS rooftop. We're gonna do also PIV Academy with a demo drop, and also a small masterclass, learning producers, you know, the technical skills, and just like how to be in a business and how to react. And that's very interesting, I think. And hopefully we're gonna do this structurally every time when there's a big convention. So PIV Academy is gonna be like very big as the events we're doing as well.
I mean, you said this word masterclasses, which I think gets bandied around a lot. Obviously, you've been, 10 years running this label, and God knows how long you've been clubbing and in the scene itself.
Long time, yeah.
I'm sure. We don't need to talk about that. Then we have to say how old we are. I think it's, interesting, like, what is that key message that you feel that you have to share in terms of the masterclasses that you're offering? What is maybe the biggest learning that you've actually grown from over those, over that decade?
We always have it about who's over hype. We always into the music, not about the algorithm, not about the hype. So we're here for the long term. I think that's the most important, you know. And yeah, if you can see yourself in the mirror and say, okay, I'm here for the music. I want to build a legacy. Yeah, then you get the energy every day to do this. And yeah.
I think legacy is an important word, and also, you guys work really hard on building community around PIV across so many different topics. We've got the label, the parties, the academy. So it's really nice to be a part of something where community is at the forefront, and it's not just about clout, like you said, or what's on trend right now, but just building a community around the sound.
I know you mentioned, Kerry Chandler is one of those, linchpins, I guess, of legacy in terms of the sound. One of those people that you have obviously admired for such a long time, and finally you guys actually landed him on one of your events. Who else is it that's perhaps inspired this long-term vision of yours?
Well, Kerry is like definitely one of our idols, but like the old guys, I love them all. Chess Demier, Jovan. That was also a nice story when we booked Jovan in Fabric, and all of a sudden he got more bookings, and it was like he was just like a hidden gem, and for us he was like like a star. But then he reinvented himself, and that's nice to see,
I think it's really what I love about PIV and the booking side of things, as well as the label, is that you're kind of integrating the old school with the new school. And for me, I feel like it's an education for someone that might come along to one of the PIV parties, especially if you have Che Damier on the lineup, or maybe Grant Nelson, or something. Those people, you can see that in the crowd, go absolutely wild for the music. And it's so nice to see, because for me they're like idols, and I feel like that's exactly what I mean when I'm saying the sound stands the test of time. And I think being able to merge new talent with some of the goats in the industry is very special. Being able to bring those two together.
definitely. You know, our lineups are is like so diverse. We're gonna book Jimster, but also like Dungeon Meets. You know, if it's housey, if it's groovy, and if it's the real story, if it's the real deal, we're gonna book it. You know, so some acts are maybe popular, but we don't book it because we don't really feel it. And sometimes you have to explain it. You know, and the manager say, okay, fair enough. But it's just we just like what we're doing, and that's I think is a strength. Maybe in the landscape, it's also a weakness, maybe because yeah, you cannot do anything, everything. Sometimes you know we just cannot do it anything because we're not really into it. But yeah, I think that's our strength, and therefore we endure for now for more than 10 years. I think.
So you've got like 10 staff, more or less, on the 14th floor of this new iconic office.
Yes.
Who is doing those bookings out of your team? Who's responsible for all of this?
Yeah, our event director is Hans. He used to be like an old DJ,
Yeah.
way back.
How far?
Way back.
There is YouTube footage, but that's all I'm saying.
It's called Terry Toner. No, and then we have like a sidekick booker, a talent buyer, Yassin. He has his OnlyFans as well. Yeah,
He has OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. No, he has his OnlyFans as well. OnlyFans, I wouldn't make.
Just checking.
He just wouldn't make a lot of money, I reckon. But yeah, he's doing very well. They sorted the lineup for the 19 shows in Ibiza, the 5 shows in Portugal. Yeah, and
what about the festival in June? This is huge.
yeah, very good. This is the second time we do the festival on a Friday in Amsterdam on the NDSM festival. Very iconic place, very nice. We programmed a bit underground, but yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
That venue when we did the PIV 10-year festival last year was really, really nice. I really preferred it to the original venue that we started in, but I feel like again it's something that we've watched grow from a really boutique small festival with very limited production on the first year, and every year you come back and you just think, wow, this is amazing, like how like fast it's grown.
Yeah, and it was also a nice story because the concept for me was like 10 years, so we have to involve everyone who's like family, but there's a lot. So yeah, and we only have 3 stages. How we manage it? I said, easy. We're gonna do like a back-to-back. So it was every act was a back-to-back.
Yeah.
So
No, it's really
there's
nice.
like the guys like Roos already with the 2 of them.
Yeah.
But everyone was a back-to-back. It was like
It was
epic,
nice.
you know?
That
It was
Prunk
so good.
obviously went back to back with Stussy, which was the first time in a long time that they'd played together.
Yes.
So it was a really special day and night. Very grateful to be a part of it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You say you programmed it kind of underground, and what does that actually mean to you these days? What does that look like?
Now, not necessary artists who sell tickets. You know, you can have ticket sellers and easy sell out, but you can also like do a mix for popular artists, but artists who you like and you want to book, but yeah, people don't really know. So you educate your audience, and that's hard nowadays because the market's very saturated. So you need to sell tickets, but still you want to educate your people. So yeah, that's like it's a hard bargain, but we still want to do this, you know, because that's very important, I think.
I can't wait to spend some time at Cova Sands this year. I think it's just one of those places where, you know, you've got the daytime party, which is sort of like dying a bit of a death in Ibiza. You've got, you know, this amazing sunset, the spectacular hills in the distance. You've got the dancing under the stars before the terrace closes at midnight. I mean, you've got it all really, actually, and I can understand why you would choose a venue like that. But what is it, you know, that perhaps keeps you coming back here? You know, this is your 5th year here. Why is Ibiza such an intrinsic part of the sound that and the community and the family that you're continuing to evolve?
Yeah, Ibiza is like a magnet, the epicenter, you know, of music, you know, and dance. So it's very, if a label, I think you just like, if you have your music, you have your events, you have to be a part of Ibiza as well.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of this residence.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a very competitive market,
Yes.
you know, so for me on a personal level to see PIV in its 5th chapter on the island and going from what was a monthly to then a bi-weekly to then a full weekly lineup, it's just like a very I'm very proud to see that happen and to see it thriving and to see artists old and new come through. And you know, for me, again, really excited to see some people making their debut on the island, playing for PIV. You know, I feel like
we always refresh. You know, some people were like they're getting big, and a lot of other promoters are gonna book them, and then say okay. And then there's some new, then there's a place for new artists. So we got to be like ahead of the herd, always.
Yeah. How hard is it? How competitive is it now to get 19 dates full and at full capacity and to keep that momentum moving forward this far down the line? I'm intrigued.
Yeah, we'll see this season. Yeah, me as well. Let's have it.
That's quite a gauntlet to lay down, though. I think, you know, not just for you, but just any night, any residency, any kind of event that's like, right, I'm going to put my flag in the sand. Here we go. We're going to go for 19 dates. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's a big statement. It's a bold move, and I like it.
Thank you. Yeah, I think because it's also Tuesdays, you know, because in Ibiza you can party every day.
Yeah.
So for us, like a label, it's very interesting to do it during the weeks. The artists they have time. So. Yeah, and it's every week there are new people, so for us it's easy. Let's do the whole season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that the best bit about all of this? Meeting new people every year on the island?
Definitely, much so. And yes, there's a lot of people coming, and they heard of PIV, but they didn't know it, and they come to us because we're very accessible, and they love it. For instance, I was with my wife Celeste last year in New York. Kingston, there were like two guys with a PIV shirt on, and hey, let's make a photo. And they meet each other, and they became best friends. And I saw them in Miami again. They were just like friends, and they built like a mini PIV community in New York now. And they go to our every event with 10 or 12 people. Yeah, that's like magical, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I really cannot wait to see Kellie on the decks in Ibiza yet again this summer, and your entire smorgasbord of parties that you're going to be putting on across the course of Ibiza Summer 2026. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe.
For coming here to the hub Ibiza, into basically my office. It's been a joy to see you. Our office.
It's very hot there.
Family office. Sorry about that. We should have put some sun cream on you.
No worries. Glad to be here, and thank you for this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.